Indiana Jones and the Dialysis of Destiny was a massive flop. There's no other way to put it. It was a massive flop. People didn't like the movie, didn't care for the movie. We all know what they were originally planning to do with the movie. They basically turned Indy into a miserable old man and figured that was just going to overwhelm people. They brought in Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who was just insufferable. That was what they were doing. But according to the director now, it wasn't his fault. It's we the fans who are to blame for it because, we're all so ungrateful. But yeah, that's it. Blame the fans because that always works. And these people wonder why people just turn away from them. Let's dive into this article here from Cosmic Book News. Indiana Jones director blames fans for failure. Yeah, don't blame her, but blame the fans for it. Disney's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, aka Dialysis of Destiny, director James Mangold blames fans for the movie's massive failure. Yes, because we're to blame. That's what it is. We are the ones to blame. The flick is reported to have lost Disney at least $143 million and made Hollywood's annual bombs list in 2023. Now, a year and a half after the film's release, James Mangold offers it's the fans who are to blame, as Mangold feels no matter what they would have done, it wouldn't have made the fans happy. This is what he had to say. You have a wonderful, brilliant actor who's in his 80s. So I'm making a movie about this guy in his 80s. But his audience on other level doesn't want to confront their hero at that age. And I am like, I'm good with it. We made the movie, but the question is, how would anything have made the audience happy with that? Other than having to start over again with a new guy. And then here come lifelong heroes from my childhood into my life going, we have something for you to work on. It was a joyous experience, but it hurt in the sense that I really love Harrison and I wanted audiences to love him as he was and to accept that's part of what the movie has to say, that things come to an end and that's part of life. You see, this is the kind of crap that they say that really exposes them and their nonsense. You say that using that you have a wonderful, brilliant actor who's in his 80s. So I'm making a movie about this guy in his 80s. But his audience on other level doesn't want to confront their hero at that age. No, that's not what you did. You made a movie about Indiana Jones in his 80s and turned him into this miserable, wretched, decrepit individual. His wife had left him. He had retired, was basically sitting in his apartment and the other thing. Even when he went on this whole big adventure, he wanted to stay in the past, despite continuously throughout all the movies denying that magic exists. He wanted to stay in the past, only to then get knocked out by Phoebe Waller-Bridge and brought back to the future. That's not what you see. Here's the thing about it. These people have this disturbed idea in their minds that once you have to tell any kind of story now, it must always be awful and depressing and terrible. The thing about it is that this movie really had no reason to be made at all, because Crystal Skull kind of ended it there. You could have leave it without just move on. But the reason that you all made this movie, because the early screenings show that, what they wanted to do was have Phoebe Waller-Bridge take over as the new Indiana Jones because Indy was going to die. That's what they wanted to do. Yet another bit of pushing a woman into a role that she has no business being in. That's what they wanted to do. But what you could have done was tell a story about Indiana Jones. He's older, he's in his 80s. He is good in his life. He has his wife, he has his job, he just retired and he's good with it. Then he gets pulled into this adventure. He has to go through this trial, and then he delivers this really uplifting line that is something like saying that yes, things change, things get older, but the other. but that doesn't change who I am. I'm Indiana Jones. I'm always going to be Indiana Jones. And anytime I have to do something to save people, to get things done, you can be damn sure I'm going to get it done. Because age doesn't matter. Indiana Jones is who Indiana Jones is. You could have told this really beautiful movie, showing that, it doesn't matter his age, he's still Indiana Jones. That's what you could have shown, but you didn't want to do that. You wanted to make him miserable and then act like every person there say, but yeah, as you get older, you get miserable, you get terrible, because every story that they tell nowadays must always be awful and pathetic and terrible. It's destroy everything. Take Star Trek Discovery, for instance, right? They ended up going 1,000 years into the future, only to discover that the Federation is gone and everything is, I mean, like, if you told a story about, the Federation is gone, you could have told us really good story about how, it had some group of, some mysterious group come together and launch some kind of thing to destroy the Federation. That could have been on no one. It to be some man baby get exposed to some dilithium crystals and some freak out and cause the bleed or the burn or whatever the hell you want to call it. But that's the only story that you all get. Everything has to be this. Everything has to be this all depressing, damning crap. That's it. The world of Star Trek is supposed to be a world, and it's supposed to be built on a brighter, better tomorrow. That's not what you built it on. No. But you all can't tell those stories. Everything has to be a depressing, crappy thing. Even Picard, the first season of Picard, Jean-Luc Picard wasn't acting like himself at all, acting like this miserable old man. That's what you were doing. This is what you wanted to do with Indiana Jones. You wonder why people didn't like it. Let's continue on. Regarding not making the fans happy, it's probably not because Indiana Jones is old or the fans or that the fans are old. It probably has to do with the fact they were going to replace Indiana Jones with Phoebe Waller-Bridges' character, Helena. However, Mangold confirmed he changed things. Yeah, because that was the thing. The movie was setting up to have Indiana Jones die as this miserable old man and then have her take over because, yeah, woman power. No. Nobody wanting that. You could have just told a great story and then ended it there. Then, wait a couple years and just reboot the character with some new star, younger star, then come in to tell some more good stories. People are still looking for something, but people don't want depressing, terrible crap. That's the problem. It also probably didn't help the film underwent massive reshoots, and when Disney debuted Indiana Jones and the Dialysis of Destiny at the Cannes Film Festival, the film was receiving a lukewarm reception from critics and those in attendance. Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy ruined Star Wars and Willow. Now it was Kennedy's turn to ruin Indiana Jones, because that's what because Kathleen Kennedy is pushing this whole thing about woman power. Women must be in everything. You wanted to turn Indiana Jones into a woman. That's not what you wanted to do. You figure people would want to see it, and fans were animal. They didn't care to see that crap. So you made a movie about a miserable, sour old Indiana Jones who was just was just supposed to be happy to die, and then Phoebe Waller-Bridges was to take up the hat and you can go, yeah, I'm the new Indiana Jones. Woo! Reports offered a planned ending that took place in the 1930s, featured a young Indiana Jones sacrificing himself to save Helena, causing the old Indy to fade away. Helena then picks up the whip, dons the fedora, and becomes the new Indiana Jones. The classic John Williams music score hits. Well, they had to know that that was going to be terrible, but again, when you were sniffing your own fart so hard, just as badly as the MCU was doing, this is the kind of crap you thought everybody would have been happy with. When I came on the movie, they had been playing with a bunch of different things. They were basically just reductions of what had happened in the first movie. Just more aspirations and goals, and I felt like I was just watching the first movie over again when I envisioned what was in the existing scripts. Mangold told Gizmo, and I felt like what Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and Larry Kasdan and David Koepp as well had done successfully in other films was to keep kind of pulling up a rock on a different aspect of history and metaphysics and not going back to do the same thing. In a way, I didn't want to do the kind of is it a Death Star again? That's really what they did in that first Star Wars movie with Rain. It was just a bigger, weather Death Star, but whatever. Indiana Jones and the Dialysis of Destiny brought in 383.9 million worldwide and starred Harrison Ford. The Rotten Tomatoes score from critics is at 70% and from the fans at 87%. The cinema score is a B+. Yeah, but regardless, blaming fans for your crappy movie never works. You know what you could have done to make the movie really good. You know that, but you didn't do that. You wanted Indiana Jones to disappear and have Phoebe Waller-Bridge become the new Indiana Jones. That's what you wanted. And it was not going to work. Like I said, you could have told a really good story, but despite Indiana Jones being in his 80s, he's still a fantastic Indiana Jones. You could have told that story, or you could have never made the movie at all. And Crystal Skull could have been where any further and that could have been. But you decided to make the movie. You could have made it good. You didn't make it good. And now the best thing to is come out and say, you know what? Didn't matter what we did. Those damn fans wouldn't have liked it anyway. No, James Mangold. The fans would have loved it had you done an Indiana Jones movie and not done Phoebe Waller-Bridge and the decrepit old man she was dragging along. That's what you attempted to make, and fans did not like that at all. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I went for an opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like it, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification. You will be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.